Namaste, and welcome to Beginner Yoga. My name is Marissa Segundo, and today we're going to practice a basic kind of all over yoga practice. So find a comfortable position, comfortable place in your house where you can shut off any type of distractions. Put on your favorite music that's calming to you. Unroll your yoga mat and join me for beginner yoga. So we'll start with our hands at heart center and begin with the first Yoga Sutra, Atha Yoga Anushasanam, which in Sanskrit means now we begin yoga. Join if you like. Atha Yoga Anushasanam. And please join me in the sound and vibration of Om. Inhaling to prepare. And just allow that Om to reverberate throughout your body. With your hands still at heart center, take a moment to create an intention for your practice, for your life, or for this moment. Hold that intention in your heart and then clear it from your mind as you either leave your hands at heart center or draw them along your sides, connecting thumb and forefinger, Dhyan Mudra. And just take this time to watch your breath, noticing how it comes in and out naturally without changing it. Invite your forehead to relax, eyes to close gently, or to remain focused on one single point. Connecting with the rhythm of your breath as your facial features soften. Inviting your top jaw to separate from your bottom jaw and your tongue to hang loose in your mouth. And if you haven't begun to do so naturally, beginning yogic breath, breathing in through the nose, allowing that air to travel deep into your belly, expanding your belly with air. As you exhale, collapsing your belly, inviting that air to travel up and gently out your nostrils. And just take your time with your yogic breath. Often this is the most complicated part of our yoga practice, is to find and sustain your yogic breath. So take your time to inhale as you expand your belly, maybe even count the seconds that you're inhaling. Then take a very brief pause and then exhale and count the seconds that you exhale. Maybe start by inhaling for 4 seconds and exhaling for 4 seconds. And then as you control your breath, maybe lengthen that. Or maybe find that space between the breaths where you can enjoy that pause. And just take this time to allow waves of relaxation to start at the very tip of your spine and gently travel down to the base of your spine. If you have trouble sticking with the rhythm of your breath, you can even just place your hand on your belly and feel it expand on your inhales and contract on your exhales. And just invite your day to slip away. And once you feel like you have a consistent yogic breath, when you reach your next inhale, lengthening the spine, rolling the shoulders back and down. Then as you exhale, allow your chin to travel down toward your chest, inviting the crown of the head to fall forward. Allowing the head to hang forward just a little bit, maybe bringing your chin slightly over to the right hand side. Exhale, bringing it still towards the center, down and center. And then tipping it slightly as you inhale over to the left-hand side. And back to center. On your next inhale, gently elevate the chin back to center. And as you exhale, elevate the chin up to the sky. Crown of the head falls backward. You want to put the bottom lip over the top lip, you can do that here. Nice lengthening in the throat area, the throat chakra. If you want to make a little bit of motion while your head is towards the sky, you can do that too. Just be cautious, as this motion isn't as easy to do as when your head is hanging forward. So inhaling back to center. And if you need to switch which foot is in front, you can do that at any time. Maybe think about while you're in Sukhasana or seated position that you don't necessarily cross your legs over or your ankles over, but maybe just align the ankles in the center so you have kind of just a nice, where the heels are in, kind of juxtaposed to one another. Now we'll place our hands at heart center. Inhale, clasp hands up over our head, find a little back bend. Exhale, we'll circle our arms around very, very slowly. If you think you're going too slow, maybe slow down just a tiny bit more. Taking your time very gently, allowing the fingertips to touch their opposite mates. And then we have our hands back in Anjali Mudra. Inhaling, clasp hands up, nice long spine. Maybe the thumbs come backward just a tiny bit. Inhaling here. Exhale, bring the hands back kind of just forward a little bit. Exhaling down with the right palm to the earth. Inhale tall with the left palm. Exhale, get a nice length in the side. Now, decide what works for you in this position. So you can either have a nice long arm, the upper arm, or you can find a half moon shape with your arm, turning the heart towards the sky. It should feel good. Use your bottom hand to kind of direct you a little bit, like a rudder on a boat. And think about this left hip. Kind of think about grounding down into the left hip and see how much more length you can get in the side body here. Take a couple of deep belly breaths. Just enjoy your side body. If you want to have some motion, you can start to just do a circle one way with your upper arm and a circle the opposite way with your upper arm. And then when you're ready, inhale back to center. Both hands follow a little tiny back bend. Back to center. Exhale down with the left palm. Inhale, reaching tall with the right hand towards the sky. And then find where you want to be on the side body stretch. Remember, you have the option lengthening with the arm or that crescent moon shape over your head. Turning the heart towards the sky. And if you did a circle on the opposite side, go ahead and do that on this side. Make sure you circle in both directions, clockwise and counterclockwise. And when you're ready, reaching up tall towards the sky, a little tiny, tiny back bend. Exhale, we'll bow forward. Coming onto our fingertips. I don't think you can see my fingertips. I'm on my fingertips. And we're going to walk our hands towards the right hand side as far as we can to the right. Scoot forward just a tiny bit so you can see the hands slightly walking towards the right. While our hands are to the right, we're pressing into the earth with the left fingertips a little bit more with the right than the right. Then you'll feel length on the left hand side of the body. When you're ready, walking hands back to center. Pausing here for a moment, pressing into the earth. Exhale, walking all the way to the left hand side. Now pressing into the right fingertips a little bit more intensely than the left side. So you can really feel this now on the right hand side body. Now when you're ready, very slowly walking back to center, pressing into the earth as if you're really trying to press the earth away. And inhale the arms up over the head, tiny back bend. circling the arms just until your arms come to a T. And from here, we're going to find cactus arms. And cactus arms, we want our elbows to be aligned with our shoulders. So we're engaging the upper back here. Just take a deep belly breath and hold the cactus arms. Some people call this the field goal. I think it has to do with football. I don't know. And then we'll place the elbows together. Yes, I know it has to do with football. So just the elbows come together. And if you have more chest, and this is a hard thing to do, you can bring your elbows up higher. That may help. Or if your shoulders are really broad and this is a hard thing to do, you don't actually have to connect your arms. You can just kind of make them parallel. The idea we want to do is open up the upper back here. If this isn't doing much for you and you want to find eagle arms, you can do that too. And I'm going to go back to the just connected elbows. And if you need more for your upper back and you want to just melt forward, you can do that. Rounding the spine behind you. Rounding the spine behind you. Hold on, singing bowl. And allow the head to hang forward. Maybe you want to shake your head from side to side or up and down. And we'll bring our forearms, our clasped forearms together. And then open up, opening the heart, finding those cactus arms. You can always adjust. This is, you can always adjust where your positioning is so you can really find your alignment. Drawing the shoulder blades together, opening the heart. Notice it starts to engage your muscles as well. So then we'll bring the hands back to heart center. Okay, so with our hands, let's go ahead and just place our fingertips on our shoulders and just make some big, broad circles all the way around. Just getting into the shoulder blades. Once you go around a couple of times, go ahead and do the other side. Rotating just like we have been clockwise and counterclockwise. And maybe you don't want to do really big circles. Maybe you just want to do little tiny circles. Check in with your body and what feels right in this moment for you. Remember, at any yoga class that you're in, it is your practice. So no matter what anyone is doing on their mat, who is most important on your mat is the person who is on your mat. So focus on that. And then when you're ready, go ahead and relax the hands down, bring them back to Anjali Mudra. All right, so from Anjali Mudra, we'll go ahead and just place our hands on our knees. Find a nice long spine, lifting up with our bottom rib, just kind of give a little bit of length there to your posture, shoulders rolled back and down, and just feel what a nice kind of long spine feels like. So we're not arching our back too much. We're just finding this neutral spine, just like we would if we were in Tadasana or Shavasana. So nice long alignment with our energies. We're going to draw our heart forward. Shoulder blades come together. Now we do have a round in our spine, kind of an arched back. And we'll shift over to the right hand side. And we'll circle around. This time we're curving, making a C shape with our spine. Maybe you want to stay there for a moment and just kind of go back and forth and just kind of get into your back. Find that little spot that you forgot about and just kind of work through that. And then very slowly start to work your way over to the left side. Now when you're on your left side, you can kind of get in that side body again. And then we'll come back to the front here. Shoulder blades come together, heart is open. And then you can just do these circular rotations. They're called Sufi circles. You can do these at your own pace. You can be hurried or unhurried. It's completely up to you. And then when you're ready, reversing directions once again, clockwise, counterclockwise. And then when you're ready, coming back to center. So we're going to do those same forward and back motions with a seated cat and cow. So I'm going to do this to the side so you can see, hopefully, if I have the right position here, you can see the difference in the spine. So we have our nice neutral spine here. Then when you're ready, on your exhale, round the spine. Bring your gaze down to your belly button, really rounding the spine. Using our hands on our knees to kind of hold ourselves up. Arms are long. It's almost like you're gonna fall right over, but you're not because you're just really getting into your spine, so it should feel good. Inhale, shoulder blades come together in the back, maybe bending the elbows. Maybe they're not on our, you can leave them on your knees, or you can kind of put them up your thighs a little bit if that feels better. Just enough so your shoulder blades come together, heart is open in the front. Exhale, rounding the spine, bringing your gaze back down to your toes or to your belly button. Inhale, these are seated cat and cows. So this is a good thing to do when you're waking up or going to sleep. You just want to get a tiny bit of yoga in your life for 5 minutes or so. We arrive at a seated cow on our inhales, seated cat on our exhales. And if you're holding either of these positions, you can take a breath there, like take a full big belly breath in between time. And then when you're ready, coming back to center. Nice long spine again. Just feel the difference. Take a moment, take a deep belly breath here to feel the difference of when your spine was in those two positions and when it's in a neutral position. Okay, so let's actually come onto our hands and knees and find a tabletop position. That neutral spine that we were achieving before. I don't have a ponytail holder, so hopefully my hair is not going to be a problem here. So we'll spread our fingers wide apart. Make sure that our knees are aligned with our hips. And imagine this invisible string drawing the crown of your head forward, base of your spine backwards. And if you feel any bends or dips in your spine, just go ahead and shift your hips so you can find that neutral spine. All right. So in our tabletop position, let's go ahead and take our left leg and extend it behind us. We'll tuck the left toes so you can, they're tucked slightly on the earth. Uh-oh, now my cat's going to get involved here. So this is Pigeon. She's a yoga cat. So we curl the toes under. Pigeon. We curl the toes under and press. We're going to go forward and back. So we'll curl the toes. And with our remaining right knee, go ahead and make sure that that's right underneath the shoulder, that we're not opening the hip. And we're just going to go back and forth on your toe. If you want to do some ankle circles, you can do that here. Should feel good. And if this is a lot on your knee and you need extra padding for your right knee, you can do that. Now we're going to take our left leg, we're going to extend it backwards, pressing into our thumb and pointer finger. I've actually, I don't know if you can see this, but I have my toes tucked on the right hand side as well to just give me a little bit more stability. Now you can stay right here, or you can extend out with your right arm, which you can't see because my ear's on the way. So extend it so it's about parallel with your ear. Then we'll place the right hand down, place the left leg down, and shake out your yoga tail. Then we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So now we will curl. Let's scoot forward here. Oh, that's not. All right, so you scooch backwards. So we're tucking the right toes, going forward and back, forward and back. Maybe doing some ankle circles. This is also really good for engaging your toes. Do a little toga, so kind of do little circles so your pinky toe is also engaged. Of course, if we're circling, as we've been doing throughout the class, circle in one direction, also circle in the opposite direction. Then when you're ready, grounding ourselves, squaring our hips before we elevate up with the back leg. We want that back leg to be an extension of your hip. Redistributing your weight. Once again, I tuck to my left toe, so I have a nice base here. You want to do ankle circles in the air, you can do that too. And if you want to extend out with the left hand, directly in front of you, parallel with your ear, palm up towards the sky. Now when you're ready, bring that down, followed by your knee, and shake out your yoga tail. We'll place our hands, one hand length in front of us, and melt down into an extended child's pose. Our wrists should be just aligned with our shoulders. Shoulders are aligned with our hips. Hips are aligned with the ankles. And then we find that alignment of all of our energy. And from here, we'll elevate our hips, tuck our toes, and just very slowly walk our way to a downward facing dog. Take your time. It's your first downward dog. We haven't really done much with our legs yet, like too much. So walking out our dog, maybe you're coming onto tippy toes and down onto your heels, whatever feels good. Maybe you're shaking your head from side to side or up and down. Maybe you're coming into a puppy dog where you just bend your knees quite a bit. So decide what works for you. And when you're ready, we'll shift forward. We'll find ourselves in a plank pose, holding our plank just for a moment before we lower down knees, chest, and chin. From here, we will elevate ourselves up into either a baby cobra, full cobra. Remember, it's for the shoulders to kind of melt away from the ears. Or you can also find Sphinx on your forearms. Wherever you decide to be, stay there for just a moment. If you want to look at your pinky toes, you can. Then we'll melt back down. Hands will be just below the shoulders. We'll press back up into a plank. Then we'll walk our plank all the way up to a downward facing dog. You want to be a pirate because you're walking the plank. Now when you're ready, we'll bring our gaze looking forward, and you can walk or hop your feet in between your hands, hanging around in Uttanasana or forward fold. While you're hanging, you can bend the knees a little bit if that feels good. You can sway from side to side, maybe grab opposite elbows. Whatever feels good. And then when you're ready, just while you're here for a moment, just let anything that needs to just
invisible energy that just needs to drain out of your fingertips and out of your toes. Just let that happen right here. Just take a moment. And then when you're ready, very slowly rounding the spine upward, rolling shoulders back and down, sorry. All right, so we're at the edge of our mat. Place our hands at heart center. Inhale, the class stands up over our head. Find a little back bend. Exhale, swan dive forward. Hands to the legs for a flat back extension. We know it's a flat back extension because our shoulder blades come together in the back. We place our hands next to our feet. Exhale, jumping back with the right foot. Followed by the left. Now we're in a plank. Lowering down, knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga. Inhale for cobra. Tucking the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Jumping forward with the left foot. And if you need to hook it and drag it forward, you go right ahead. Followed by the right. Reverse swan dive. Exhale and hands to heart center. All right, I'm going to do the other side. And I'm going to face this way and see if that helps. So place our hands on heart center. Inhale, the clasped hands up overhead. Exhale and swan dive forward. Hands to the legs, flat back extension. Exhale, hands on either side of the feet, jumping back with the left foot. Followed by the right. Lowering down, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale for cobra. Tucking the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Jumping forward with the right foot, and if you need to hook and drag, go for it. Followed by the left. Reverse swan dive. Little back bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. So we're moving around, creating some energy. This time we'll dice it up just a tiny bit. So we'll place our hands at heart center. Let's go back to this one. Actually, I'll go this way. Just keep doing different sides. Inhale, the clasped hands up over your head, little back bend. Ooh, that feels good. Exhale, swan dive forward. Hands to the legs, flat back extension. Exhale, hands on either side of the feet, jumping back the right foot. Exhale, followed by the left. Lowering down, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale for cobra. Tuck in the toes. Exhale, downward facing. Downward facing dog. Jumping forward to the left foot. Followed by the right. Reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale, the clasped hands all the way up, little back bend. Exhale, swan dive forward. Hands to the legs, flat back extension. Exhale, hands on either side of the feet. Coming back with the left foot. Followed by the right. Lowering down, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale for cobra. Tucking the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Jumping forward with the right foot. Followed by the left. Reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right. So we've been doing our sun salutations. We're going to do one more, but this one, or one more round. This one will change it up just a little tiny bit. So, hands to heart center. Inhale, the clasped hands all the way up, little back bend. Exhale, and swan dive forward. Hands to the legs, flat back extension. Exhale, hands on either side of the feet. Jumping back with the right foot. Leaving the left foot forward. I'm going to go to the other side so you can see where we go with this. So we're going to pivot the right foot back at a 45 degree angle. And then we're going to walk our hands towards the center and we're going to pivot the left foot. So now both feet are parallel to each other facing forward. Forward meaning towards the side of your mat, whatever that forward is to you. So now we have a wide-legged stretch. And we're going to walk our hands over to the right-hand side and lengthen with our left foot, pressing into the left pinky toe
bending the right knee. If you need support for this, if the knee is too much, you can come up higher. You can also use blocks to support you. Whatever feels good. If you want to have something, a rolled up towel or something for underneath your back right foot, you can do that too, where your heel is. We're going to walk our hands back to center, but instead of coming up, we're going to pause in kind of a goddess lower body. So goddess pose would be like this. We're just going to stay with our hands down. So our knees are open. I've actually pivoted both feet so they are pointing to either side of my mat. One pointing to the top, one pointing to the bottom. If you want to take a full goddess pose, you can. So we find those same cactus arms. And we would find that same Dhyan Mudra that we started our practice with. You can actually let your elbows sink a little bit in this goddess pose. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can actually come onto your, let's see if I can. No, I can't, all right. So you can come onto your toes. Unfortunately, you can't see that, I gotta go backwards. Camera angles. I don't know. You know what it looks like to come onto your toes. All right, and then come back down. All right, so pivoting our toes. So now they're facing forward. By forward, I mean to the side of your mat. Lengthening now with the right leg. Bending with the left knee. And then when you're ready, we'll come back up, come to center. This time we're going to walk our hands forward, melt into a wide-legged downward facing dog. Remember, this option is always open to you. And in a yoga practice, if you want to just widen your stance a little bit, and see how that really affects the weight on your wrists. Even if you're just mat width distance, sometimes that little bit helps compression in the wrists. So when you're ready, we'll walk our hand in towards the body. And we'll separate our arms. So we're floating in the sky before we come back up to a 5-pointed star. And hop our feet together. And I think we were got here in a sun salutation that we didn't finish. So we need to finish that on the other side. So let's come back to our edge of our mat. Inhale or clasp hands up, little back bend. Exhale and swan dive forward. Hands to the legs, flat back extension. Exhale, hands on either side of the feet. Jumping back should be with the left foot, followed by the right. Lowering down, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale for cobra. Tucking the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Jumping forward with the right foot, grab and drag if you need to, followed by the left. Reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right. Well, let's find ourselves on the edge of our mat, whichever edge you'd like to be on, probably on the top or bottom edge of your mat. We'll place our hands at heart center. Inhale to clasp hands up. Find a tiny little back bend before we start to bend at the knees. And find our chair pose. And if you want to chair cha-cha, you can chair cha-cha. Or if you want to row your chair, you can row your chair. You want to really get into the obliques and the side body. Or you can just pause in the center. We'll inhale our arms up, scooch them, windmill them around. Find yourself in a Hindi squat. Extending the arms forward. and find yourself flopping on the mat. From here, we'll roll the shoulders back and down. Nice long spine. Extend the arms. Shoulder blades still come together. Nice long spine. We'll bring the palms. So now my feet are still on the earth. So we're finding it's like a half boat pose. So we just basically are boat pose with our upper body. And this is a good way to practice your form. This is another way you can engage the obliques and get a little fancy with your boat pose. So you ground your feet into the mat. Maybe you come onto your big toe just a little bit. Now we have a firm foundation under you. You can row your boat. You can hold this big invisible ball and go side to side. Good way to build strength, engage the side body. All right. So then, if you're feeling froggy, you can elevate your feet up for half boat pose. Make sure you have a nice long spine all the way down. If you want full boat pose, extend the legs up. And if you want to lower yourself onto the mat using your core all the way down, you can do that. So just spend a moment while you're in Shavasana and just feel your aligned energy. What does that feel like? Where's your weight distributing? Maybe you're going to spend a moment, just kind of hold your heart or place your hands on your solar plexus, whatever feels good to just connect with your energies. And we'll take the soles of the feet. And if you have a block and you want to put a block right underneath your sits bones, you can do that too. We're going to elevate our feet up to the sky. There's also a thing you can do if you want to lasso your feet with a tie or a yoga strap. You can do that. And then you can guide your feet around. Imagine, because I don't have a strap, you can guide your feet in a circle on the ceiling. And then if you want to, of course, do that clockwise and counterclockwise. That is the theme of the day. All right. And then from here, if you want to put the soles of your feet together and just allow your knees to fall out to the side, you can do that. Find frog pose. And if you want to place your hands between your legs and grab the outside of your feet for happy baby pose, you can do that too. All options are available to you. And then if you want to allow your knees to fall to the side, to either side, connect the soles of your feet together for Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined bound angle. Just taking a moment here to breathe into your bound angle. Supta bounce. Supta bound angle. Supta Baddha Konasana. And then from here, we'll bring the knees together and allow them to fall over to the right-hand side, or to the left-hand side, rather. So our knees fall to the left, our arms stack one on top of the other. And then with the arms, we'll open them up to a T. So if you need to adjust your upper body or lower body so you can get a lower body twist, go ahead and do that.
You want to cross one leg over the other so you can deepen your twist. Go ahead and do that. Now since your legs are to the left, your gaze will be to the right. And then when you're ready, we'll unravel our feet. Bring our knees back to center and maybe do just a little bit of a lower back massage as we kind of circle our feet around, our knees around rather. Well, our feet are going too, but we're circling with the knees. And we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So you need to adjust your hips and allow your knees to fall over to the right hand side. And then open our upper body, our arms to a T. Gaze will be towards the left hand side as the knees fall to the right. And if you want to cross bottom leg over top leg over bottom leg, whatever feels good to you in this moment. Connecting with your twist. And then when you're ready, from here we'll unravel our feet, draw the knees back to center. And if you want to do that same ankle or that same lower back massage, you can do that too. And then when you're ready, lengthening the legs long in front of you. And at this time, if there's any final posture that your body is craving, you can do that at this time. And then we will all meet in Shavasana or corpse pose. So Shavasana will make sure that our ankles are aligned with our knees. Knees are almost aligned with the hips. Hips are aligned with the shoulders. And palms are open to the sky. Now you'll stay in Shavasana. I'm going to bring myself up to a seated position, but go ahead and stay in Shavasana. And just spend this time connecting with your body and with your breath. Taking a mental scan of your body to decide what you've learned today, how you've been able to let go from the outside world and focus on this moment. Just inviting those waves of relaxation that we had at the beginning of class as you're laying with all your energies aligned, connecting fully with your body and your breath. Now when you're ready, just go ahead and connect with your breath for me. Whenever you're ready, start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, touching your thumb to each finger one at a time, connecting with the energy of earth, air, fire, and water.
Sa, ta, na, na. Stretch your arms long above your head, your legs long in front of you, stretching your energies from fingertips to tips of toes. And when you're ready, bending your knees and drawing them into your chest, giving them a hug, rocking side to side or in a circle, massaging your lower back. And when you're ready, allow the knees to fall over to the right hand side and resting there for a moment in the fetal position. Our final resting posture is called Shavasana or corpse pose, where we allow any unwanted thoughts, feelings, or energies to die in this posture. In this fetal position, we are reborn, ready to lead a new life of mindfulness, awareness of our body, breath, and all of the beautiful energy around us. Whenever you're ready, bringing only the good and positive energy with you, slowly help yourself up to an easy seated position. And with a nice long spine and hands at heart center, I invite you to join me as we seal this practice as we began with the sound and vibration of Om. Inhaling to prepare. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May your mind be open. May your words be mindful. May your heart be open and abundant with love. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today.